Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, and the topic at hand today is going to be regarding how to identify repressed aggression in an individual whom you're communicating with. Whether they feel distressed at you, what you're talking about, or what they're thinking or talking about. Alright, so we're going to be talking about clenched fists, what it means when you see a clenched fist, how it works on an unconscious basis, and what it signifies. If you want to learn how to read minds through nonverbal communication and just by looking at someone, feel free to click subscribe and feel free to check the videos I've done in the past and in the future. I'm sure there's something in there which you didn't know and which you will find incredibly beneficial. Moving on. So, people, including ourselves, clench the fists unconsciously when we are displaying a firmness of resolve, repressed aggression, and it's essentially like a intense palms down gesture. Okay? I covered palms down gestures in a previous video, so if you want to have a delve into that, it does link in. So if you check not so long back, I did a video regarding palms down gestures and what that signifies. But regardless, historically speaking, during our evolution, we learnt to walk on our feet, whereas initially we used to walk on all fours. When we used to walk on all fours, our front hands weren't necessarily an issue. When we started to walk on our hind legs, our hands became weapons. We were able to form fists to strike our opponents. When we feel threatened, I'm sure you've heard of the freeze, flight and fight responses. When we feel some degree of fear or conflict, we may trigger a fight response. And what better than to form knuckles with the hands to ensure we're ready, given anything kicks off. So when you're conversing with somebody, please make a note of any formation of a fist that may have existed from the get-go or be triggered by a particular engagement, whether that be something they mention or something you mention. Okay? Please take into consideration that this could be a memory brought up from the past which may be occupying their mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be regarding anything you've said, but pay attention in real time. If you do say something and then their body reacts to that straight away, it is worth considering. Okay? Aside from communication with you, if a speaker was to really hammer home a point and illustrate that they will develop a fist and strike the palms of their hand, possibly dramatically, to emphasize a point. And that is a very evident display of a release of pent-up coiled energy. Alright? So the fists represent an unconscious want to strike out. Yet obviously, under societal pressure and regulations, you can't act so directly aggressive. Alright? So this is the first time I've mentioned this, and I will be doing a video on this very shortly. Possibly my next video. The closed hand or the fist is a representation of a closed body display. Alright? The opposite would be an open body display. Open body represents comfort and freedom, whereas a closed body display exposes defensiveness, anxious feelings, and the like. Okay, so it is a negative display. One thing to take into consideration is the thumbs. In nonverbal communication, the thumbs are very significant. They can turn a gesture into something completely different, given they're on show or hidden. So if somebody was to be forming a fist, yet the thumbs were tucked into the hand, that would also display a high degree of discomfort and anxiety, alright? So what the fists represent is an unconscious aggression, whereas the thumbs would add an element of discomfort and anxiety. I will do a video on this. The thumb display is power. When Julius Caesar decided life or death with the thumbs up or the thumbs down in the Roman Colosseums, it was a display of power. It holds significant meaning, and when that thumb is concealed, it's a very defensive position. Alright, so that's something to take into consideration. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-clarify what I've said. When communicating with someone or listening to someone speak, pay attention to their hands. If their hands at any point form a fist, it's a aggressive display, okay? And it shows pent-up aggression, something which we can't expose through the societal boundaries we have in place. We can't be overtly aggressive, so it comes out through indirect means such as the clenching of the fist, the closing of the hands. This is because, biologically speaking, our hands are weapons, and the fist is a very powerful weapon. The fist represents an unconscious want to strike out at perhaps an idea or an individual. So pay attention, as you'll be able to decipher how somebody feels at that moment in time. It might save you a lot of hassle, so you can cool down the situation before it escalates. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you want to continue educating yourself on how to read others and read the minds of others, and how you can read yourself and portray yourself in the world, please click subscribe. This has been Everyday Superpower, signing out. Goodbye.